Hi everyone, how are you all doing? I hope that you all are doing fine. Today our lesson will be sentence fragments and run-on. First you have to log in using the aplusstudent.com. You click on your name, move on to language art grade 6 and the chapter is sentence fragments and run-on. And we have 3 lessons under that, but we will complete 2 lessons today, which will be, is it a complete sentence or a fragment? Is it a complete sentence or a run on? All right, so we need to note that a sentence is a group of words that forms a complete thought. Okay, so it has both a subject and a verb. So a sentence will always have subjects and then the verb. All right, so a complete sentence will have the subject. So now the subject is the person doing the action, and then the verb will be action going on in the sentence. Okay, just like that. So we have my friends walk along the park. Now my friends is what? My friends is the subject, and then walk along the path. Working is what? The verb. So my friends is the subject and working is the verb, which shows like what the friends are doing. And then in the sentence, if you ask, oh, who's doing something in the sentence, it is the friends. Okay, so they are the subject and they're the ones working along the path. Okay. So we have also the fragments. Now, the fragment is a group of words that does not express a complete thought. So does not express a complete thought. Okay. It is usually missing either the subject, a verb, or a helping verb. Just like you've seen here, a complete sentence always has a subject and a verb, right? Now, for the sentence fragment, it is either missing subjects, which could be this, or it's missing a verb or even a helping verb. So we have knows the answer here. Now, we have knows the answer. This is a sentence fragment, it is missing a subject because if you just say knows the answer, now the question will be who knows the answer? We have no idea who knows this answer. So it is missing a subject in this particular sentence. Now, because if we want to correct this, we could say something like he knows the answer. So for example, all right, so we have also this one, the bright red car. Now, this is missing a verb because it just says the bright red car, which is the subject. Now, what is happening to the bright red car? We have no idea what's going on with the bright red car. So we have we skiing next week. So we skiing next week is missing a helping verb because it just says we skiing next week. That means it is incorrect. You could say something like, we are skiing next week, then it is a balanced sentence, but this is missing a helping verb. Okay? All right, now, so we've done the complete sentence and we've also done the sentence fragments. So now we're moving on to a run-on sentence. Okay, so a run-on sentence is made up of two independent clauses that are joined without end punctuation or with just a comma. So the end punctuation is missing or it's just joined with a comma. For example, you hear a sentence like, I knocked on the door, it opened. So I knocked on the door is two sentences joined without a punctuation, so it is two sentences together. So those two sentences needs to be separated. Just like we have, it started raining, we ran inside. Now this here has a comma, and of course not. You need to make sure that you separate those sentences. Or if you are using a comma, you could add a conjunction if you want to make it a compound sentence. So to fix a run-on sentence, you have to make sure that you separate it into two sentences, add end punctuation after the first, and capitalize the second sentence. So you have to make sure that you say, I knocked on the door, you put a comma, that's one sentence. It opened is another sentence. So you have to make sure you put a comma, and then the starting of the next sentence has to be capitalized. Then we also have, it started raining, we ran inside. Now this was the one with the comma. So you remove the comma, you put a period, and then you make sure that you start the next sentence with a capital letter, because we always capitalize the start of every sentence. So you can also fix a run-on sentence by rewriting it as a compound sentence. Just like what I have said, you can fix it. So for the compound sentences, a compound sentence is made up of two independent clauses joined by a comma and conjunction. So we have the coordinating conjunction and, but, or, and then so. So now this is what makes up the compound sentence. So if you want to fix a run-on sentence, you can also make it a compound sentence by adding a comma and any of this. So it can be, I knocked on the door, comma, and it opened. It started raining, comma, so we ran inside. So you can make it a compound sentence if you're fixing it, or you could as well just add a period and make it one sentence on its own. Okay? Alright, so we'll move on here. Let's look at some examples before we move on to the test. It says that, which is a complete sentence. Greg texted me the page numbers for the homework assignment. So Greg is what, the subject, and texted is the verb. Now, which is a complete sentence? Wipe the sweat from her brow after sprinting across the finish line. Is this a complete sentence? No, this is not, because it is missing a subject. So this would be a subject sentence fragment because it doesn't have a subject. Because we don't even know who wiped the sweat from her brows. So we have which is a sentence fragment. Now remember that the sentence fragment is either missing a subject or verb. Hi. Now we have nighttime leg cramps frequently occur in calf muscles. Now this is what not a sentence fragment because it is a complete sentence. But we can say has developed resistance to the drug prescribed by the doctor is a sentence fragment because we do not know who have developed the resistance. Okay, so we'll move into the test and you can share your answers with me. All right, so between the two sentences, which is a complete sentence, we have Greg texted me the page numbers for the homework assignment. Never spoke of Ava's secrets to anyone except for her. Now, which is a complete sentence over here? You can share your answer if you know. So the first one is the complete sentence because it has the subject Greg and it also have the verb texted. But if you look at the second one, it says that never spoke of Ava's secrets. Now, who never spoke of the secrets? We do not know, so that makes that a sentence fragment. Okay, so we have which is a complete sentence here. At dawn, the sailors hoisted the cargo onto the ship. Edgar performing on stage for the thrill of the audience cheers and applause. So, which of these is the complete sentence here? So, if you look at the second sentence, it is missing a helping verb. That sentence is not balanced, so it has to be the first, which is the complete sentence. Now, which is the sentence fragment? Layers and layers of cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and onions. The Sullivans make homemade apple cider with their cider press. What do you think is the sentence fragment here? So it has to be layers and layers of cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, and onions, because what happened to the layers of cheese and the rest of them? We have no idea. But if we say the Sullivans make homemade apple cider with their cider press, this is a complete sentence. So it will be the first. We have, which is a sentence fragment here. A long pleated skirt with a floral print. Kathleen replaced the broken fuse in the fuse sentence fragment here. So it has to be the first one because we don't know how what happened to the skirt, but we can see that Caitlin replaced the broken fuse in the fuse box. So this second one is a complete sentence except the first. So we'll click on the first. Okay. So we have, which is a complete sentence, all of the flowers from local nurseries. In August 2012, the Curiosity rover landed on Mars. So, what is the complete sentence here? All right, so we have the second one because the first one is a sentence fragment because what happened to the flowers we do not know. All right, so we have received a warning due to the heavy snowstorm expected to hit tomorrow. Vina always enchants audiences with the raw emotion in her performance. So what is the sentence fragment here? Okay, so we have received a warning because it just says received a warning, and we absolutely have no idea who is receiving that warning. Okay, all right, so we have, which is a sentence fragment. After the trial, new evidence emerged about the case, prefers a flat finish over a glossy one when printing black and white images. So, which is the sentence fragment here? Okay, so we have prefers a flat finish. So who prefers this flat finish? No idea. Okay, so we have which is a sentence fragments. In the winter, caribou feed on mushrooms and lichen. Trisha preparing for a career in constitutional law. So what is the sentence fragment here? So we can actually say Trisha preparing because that's missing a helping verb. So it's supposed to be something like Trisha is preparing for a career in constitutional law. So which is the sentence fragments? Electric eels turn prayer with an intense electrical charge. Alana showing me photographs from her travels in India. What is the sentence fragment here? So it has to be Alana showing me photographs because it's supposed to be Alana is showing me, so it's missing a helping verb. All right, so which is a complete sentence? For breakfast, this restaurant serves eggs with biscuits and gravy. The waiter being so nice and helpful. So what is the complete sentence over here? So if we say the waiter being so nice and helpful, this is missing a helping verb. So it has to be the first one. Okay? All right. So we'll move on to the next lesson. You have to make sure that you complete this lesson if you haven't done this before. Okay, so make sure you try to complete this when you still have some more questions to answer. You can do that later. And we will move on to is it a complete sentence or a run-on? Okay, so we have which is a complete sentence here. Okay, so it says shutter speed creates different effect in photograph. Slow shutter speeds are used for capturing details in dim light. So, okay, let's see this one. Which is a complete sentence. Walnuts stay fresh longer in the refrigerator or freezer. That's a complete sentence because it has both the subject and the verb. Alright, so let's move on to the test here. You can share your answers as usual if you know that. Which is a run on sentence. Our dog Coco watches the mail carrier wearily. She sometimes growls at him. The veins in our bodies return blood to the heart. So, which is a run on sentence here. So we can say the first one, okay, because that's two sentences joined together. All right, so which is a run-on? Vultures eat the remains of dead animals. My cat pounds on the toy mouse. She probably thought it was real. So what's the run-on here? All right, so it has to be the second because my cat pounced on the toy mouse is one sentence. She probably thought it was real is another sentence. So yeah. All right, so which is a run-on? Travis memorized all of his lines for the play. Mr. Cohen clips coupons from the newspaper. He always finds bargains. What is the run-on sentence here? All right, so it will be Mr. Cohen clips coupons. All right, so Mrs. Hatfield rummaged through the medicine cabinets for the thermometer. I had a vivid dream last night you were in it. So which is a complete sentence here? All right, so we will say the first one is the correct one, which is the complete sentence. The second one is a sentence fragment. All right, so we have, which is the complete sentence. The suspect forfeited his right to a trial by jury. This macaroni dish tastes rather about past the salt, please. So what's the complete sentence here? So it will be the first one, which says suspect forfeited his rights to a trial by jury. Okay, so which is a run-on sentence? The measles virus causes a rash, fever, cough, and runny nose. Toby's going to college. He will register in the fall. So what's the run-on sentence here? So we will have the second one. Toby's going to college. He will register in the fall. So we have, which is a run-on sentence. We trekked up the mountain with 30-pound packs on our backs. The CEO stole money from customers. The company's reputation was ruined. What is the run-on sentence here? So the first one is a complete sentence, but the second one is the run-on. All right, so we have, which is a run-on. Flea medicine for our cat is expensive. We order it online. The measles virus causes a rash, fever, cough, and runny nose. So, which is a run-on sentence here? So, the run-on sentence would be the first one. Okay, so which is a run-on? The poems of Walt Whiteman always inspire me. We forgot to pack utensils. I will run to the store. Okay, so we have which one? Okay, so this one saying that we forgot to pack the utensils. So yeah. Alright, so we have, which is a complete sentence. Hail pleated the roof during the storm last night. Clean your camera lens. There's a fingerprint on it. So what's the complete sentence here? Okay, the first one. Thank you for your answer. All right. All right. So, which is a complete sentence here? The map's legend indicates the meaning of its symbols. Lauren wept during the movie. It had an emotional ending. So, what's the complete sentence for this particular one? Okay, so these will be the complete sentence. All right, so that's it for this lesson. We have one more lesson left, and we will definitely complete that during our next class during this week. But before we finish, you can tell me if you have any questions. You can just tell me on the chat if you have a question or not. Okay. So, since you have no questions, we will end here for today. But if you haven't done this test and if you're doing it and you still need more help, you can click on this chat button over here. There are tutors available to help you there if you still need more help. All right. So, I hope that you all have a good evening and see you all next time. Bye, everyone.